Welcome to another episode of Chat with Chatto.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Jason Ramos with Good Vibes Real Estate Solutions. Welcome to another episode of
Chat with Chatto. Welcome, guys. As always, you can reach us, right, at questions@goodvibesra. And the reason I'm telling you that right up front is because we got a question. People want to see some examples of some of our deals. Not only our deals that worked, but our deals that didn't work. So we're going to start with
a deal that is fresh. This just happened to us last month. We thought it was a great deal. We were super excited about it. And once we started getting our buyers in there, we realized we had a problem.
It didn't work.
And we had to abort mission. So,
Mr. Sound Effect over here.
Yeah, it wasn't good. So here's how we determined right away that it wasn't a fit after our buyers started getting in there. So this is where it went wrong. So we're going to break down the deal and we're going to show you how it went wrong. So first of all, the property we estimated ARV was about $225. And this is based on the comps. This is a beautiful 6-bedroom, massive, 2.5 bathroom.
Yeah, I think there were at the time were 2 kitchens, huge house, and it had a lot of great features which we thought were going to help even maybe potentially get a higher ARV. It had a separate detached garage and huge lot and historic area.
It was a double lot and it was huge. It was about 3,500 square feet.
Massive property.
So anyway, $225 we figured it was worth. All right, so our acquisitions guy went out there and estimated the repairs at $80,000. Okay, so we do the typical formula. The typical formula to find out 70% of the ARV. Right? Which comes out to 157.5 minus the repairs. So we're figuring about 80. I'm sorry, we figured about 75. We gave ourselves a buffer of $5,000, so we put 80. And that brought us to around 77.5, right? So, that's where the negotiation began. That's our maximum allowable offer.
Well, that's what we can sell it for. Anything under that should be profit.
Right.
So what did we tell them to lock it up for? I think we told them 60.
60, and it was a no-go. They were like, no way. They owed probably about 63, so they couldn't even do it.
And there was a realtor involved in this transaction who wanted to put $4,000 in her pocket. So the lowest we could get the seller was 70.
70,000. Okay.
So that's what we locked it up for.
So 70,000. We needed to be under this. So there's a small profit margin there. So you would think.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're looking at it potentially we can get a higher ARV.
Right. I was thinking we would get 240. So we want to be conservative. You always want to be conservative with your ARV on the front end, just so that if you had to sell it in a fire sale, you at least get that. We were going to shoot for the stars on this 40, 240, 245. So we were factoring, that's how we can build our profit margin. If this number was smaller and this one was higher, that's our profit margin there. So
Absolutely.
That's what we were banking on.
So we had a couple things come up though. One of the things, which we probably should have realized beforehand, but we realized that the property was in a flood zone. And that's a big turnoff for a lot of buyers. Some buyers it doesn't bother them, but other buyers it does. So right immediately on the front end, we shrunk our buyer pool. Other issue we came up with.
So another issue is this is a unique type of property. It's a small micro niche within a city. So the surrounding area is not so great. This one particular neighborhood is really great, and it's very desirable. But again, your buyer pool shrinks vastly because of the price point and the surrounding area and the schools. So people that send their kids to schools here, they're going to private school.
Yep.
So
that again,
area.
That was boom. Strike one, strike two was the area. So even though, like you said, the ARV was up there, it was some people did not want to invest there. And the third strike against the property.
Well, when we got our investors in there, we got it on lockbox. So we had a free-for-all. We had a bunch of our potential buyers come in there. The news wasn't that good. All right, they were estimating not 80, they were estimating upwards to $110,000.
Yep. So we were off by $30K.
$30,000. So what does that do to our profit margin?
So now our 77K becomes 47.
Which absolutely wasn't going to fly with the seller.
And we have it here.
Right. So we had a potential buyer. They came in. They were saying, they wanted to be around 70, which is what we had it locked up for. We tried to renegotiate with the seller. It wasn't happening. They couldn't budge. They were very tight on their numbers. So we ended up having to cancel this contract, and pretty close to the closing date. They did a lot of preparation. They did a lot of cleaning the property out, thinking that they're closing, and unfortunately we ran out of time, and we had to close it like 2 days before the closing date.
Yeah. Well, they initially asked for an extension, and we went. We had more time. We had some more time. We had a couple people interested, and it just was one of those deals that had too many things against it, and the deal fell through. And it's never a fun thing to cancel a deal. I can count on one hand, less than one hand, the amount of deals we've backed out on. Oftentimes we're going to buy the property if need be and make it happen that way.
This one we definitely didn't want to buy it. Too massive of a project. It would have taken us way too long, and we would have potentially lost money. So it wasn't a deal for us personally, and we just had to.
We miscalculated, and it happens.
It happens. This is something that's major. You got 2 lots. So one thing that you got to always take into consideration when you're estimating repairs is the size of the house. This house was more than double than your traditional, semi-detached house that we have in the area. Yep. So actually, your numbers are going to be double. Historic. You got to go all out. If you're going into this price range, you got to put granite countertops. You got to go high quality materials, and it's just sheetrock. Everything like that adds up. So.
And then with the historic, the other thing is just for windows. Regular window in a regular house might cost you $250, $300 installed. Now you're looking at $450, $500 per window installed, and just stuff like that just continues to add up and add up and add up, and we were just way off on our repairs.
So we had to exit. So it happens, guys. So don't let this discourage you. We're still going strong. We canceled that. That was like last month, and we're going strong. We have 3 or 4 more deals under contract right now.
Yep.
Just keep it going. Keep it pumping.
Absolutely.
Just look at this as a learning experience, because that's all they are. You're learning. And it's all about dealing with the person. Make sure that they're taken care of. So even though, it was like a bad thing to do, we also gave them recommendations of other people that might do it. So they could potentially have another, buyer in there.
Absolutely. It's one of those things. It's just, in this particular situation, we weren't even dealing with the seller. We were actually dealing with an agent, right? So, that kind of added a whole degree to it. And then even the seller ended up getting an attorney. And the attorney knew that it was within our inspection to cancel the contract. So nothing came of it because of that, because we were within our rights, within our contract to cancel it, if it didn't work out.
That's why it's always important to have those disclosures in your contract. That's
Absolutely.
what saved us, and that's what prevented us from losing our deposit. So So cool, guys. So hopefully this helped you. Hopefully
it gives you an opportunity to not be afraid, right? It's one of the big fears is getting a deal under contract and then not being able to sell it. It happens. We've been doing this for a long time. It happens.
And when you're brand new, it happens more frequently. You guys are just so excited to get in the deal, you'll lock it up very high. We see it all the time. Don't let that discourage you. You'll eventually learn how to analyze this much better. Once you get better at this and learning what the ARV truly is, you'll be able to bridge that gap, and you'll get your prices right.
Absolutely.
It's good, buddy.
And the other big thing is, if you just are throwing spaghetti against the wall, so to speak, meaning you're just locking up everything, just hoping it will sell and canceling contracts left and right, that's not a good thing. That's not what you want to be doing in this business, right? Yeah. You want to lock up contracts at the right price. Are you going to be off sometimes? It's going to happen. Right? It's going to happen occasionally. A lot of times you can get it corrected. There's things you can do. You go back to the seller and let them know, hey, this is what I found. This is what we need to do. And if at the end of the day your intention is to help the person get the property sold and help them get out of their problem as, for the best price that you can, that's a good thing to help people.
Yeah. Cool.
So as always, feel free to reach out to us.
Definitely. You know, we love doing this, guys. This is free. You know, we're not getting paid to do this. We want to help as many people as we can. So this is a pleasure for us to do. So please give us more questions, more ammunition, so we can come up with better topics and we can continue helping. So
Yep.
thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.